Oh my gosh, we're live. Oh, this is incredible. Wow. What an amazing gift YouTube is. And Zoom. Oh, just amazing. I am so grateful for all the people's energy that they put into inventing YouTube and Zoom and the iPhone that I'm on and the warm home that I'm living in and able to be safe and healthy and sane in the midst of this pandemic. And whew, wow, that's incredible. I'm celebrating my sister-in-law's birthday today. I'm so excited for her. Love you, Jenny. Um, and I just thought it would be kind of nice to have a little bit of time together, you and me, just to be together. So much going on in the world. We need like time with friends on the sofa. So that's what I just thought. Let's do an episode about being grateful with your best friend on the sofa. And what if your best friend is yourself? The biggest gift of COVID for me, staying home for over 2 weeks, it's like really like just becoming friends with me. For someone who's so extroverted and like just loves so much being with other people, like how do you like take all that energy and like focusing it on yourself in the mirror? Oh my gosh, what a like opportunity. I don't like to say challenge, I like to say opportunity. My dear spiritual teacher and guru Sai Ma, this is her new book, Conscious Living. Oh my god, it's so good. And I've just barely touched it, like just got it. And she says, God, you. Ah, blessings from source to you, Ma. So that's here. I'll show you her. What a gift to be alive on Earth. At the same time as like such a conscious teacher, just such a wellspring of tools to come home to myself and my heart. Amazing. And I'm looking at the sacred objects in my house and just thinking about all the different tools and traditions and practices and people that I've come in contact with in almost 42 years. My birthday's coming up on April 12th. And what a gift to be alive. I mean, to still be alive at this point, after all the grieving and all the dying, it's like, I can hardly put that into words. The gratitude for still breathing, because we could just go, we could go back to source at any moment. We don't know. The uncertainty of being alive has always been there, but I think there's some convergence of experiences that is, it's giving us the gift of uncertainty. Because when you realize how uncertain things are and how much we don't know, and there's really not a lot to cling on to, we could just go. We could just take off, leave our bodies. You just never know. You never know. So I'm thankful that, this set of symptoms that we call the coronavirus, like as it made its way through my body over the last, I say 2.5, 3 weeks, it like really woke me up to so much of myself. And, I had to really, I had to put a lot of energy, not just into resting and hydrating and eating healthier and taking the right medicine and supplements. And, I took activators. I'm doing phototherapy here. This is glutathione, incredible homeopathic little dot you can put on. I mean, I lost my voice like so many times in the last 3 weeks. This experience of laryngitis just kept coming and going. And every time I put one of these little dots here, my voice came back. It like is such a strong antioxidant activator. It was so strong that it like calmed down all the inflammation in my throat. It didn't like work forever. I had to keep, putting it on for 12 hours, taking it off, putting it on for 12 hours. But like phototherapy is amazing when you're dealing with all sorts of unpredictable symptoms, because there's certain things that I've learned to do for my health that activate. It's like my chiropractor says, Dr. Patty is such a gem. She says it turns on your light switches. It like brings electricity back to your body. So this whole idea of activation and like, how do you activate your health, your happiness? That's a big conversation that's starting to take off right now. And the whole idea of conversations and well-being, like, why do I talk about gratitude so much, is because there's something about the experience. I still don't know what it is. I think it's magical. Can't really explain it. But when human beings start talking about, thankfulness and gratitude and appreciation and acknowledgement and loving ourselves, like those kinds of things, which sometimes seem so far out of reach, when you start talking about it in a social environment every day, it really comes alive. Because you start to think like, oh my God, even if I'm not grateful, if I could be grateful, what would that grateful part of me do? And I was leading a huge gratitude workshop. It was kind of a blend of like a talk and a workshop and a class on the neuroscience, social psychology, spiritual, traditions of gratitude. Like everything I've learned in my life, I got to pour into this community of phenomenal seniors over in Newton, Massachusetts at Habit Park Village. And thank you, Todd Raymond, for bringing me in. Todd is the executive director that helped my dad in the final years of his life. And he's been following what I and our Discover Gratitude community has been doing on Facebook. And now we're kind of moving into LinkedIn and YouTube land and a little bit of Twitter. And he saw what we've been doing. We've been having these gatherings, every month, every day, every week, some frequency on and off since 2015. Yeah, I came up with the idea with Jerry Fishman and Rebecca. We were on a group call coming to the end of our wisdom course at Landmark, and we were going around our little conference call, and we said, how are we gonna spread wisdom? I was like, well, this whole idea of gratitude and community and learning and discovery, I mean, this is what my whole life has been about. It's been such a gift to be alive. I mean, and to have the family where like loving kindness was talked about with Thich Nhat Hanh at a retreat center, Omega Institute, when I was 7. I mean, like, I was just born into like all these things that were coming into our culture. Like, I started to study mindfulness when I was 7. I mean, a lot of people hadn't even heard about it in the 1989. I had a friend and spiritual teacher who I was at a retreat with, the mystery school retreat, the Empower Thyself retreat a few weeks ago. And he said something, this is Jordan Bain, he said something like, a lot of the conversations for mindfulness and gratefulness and spirituality and transformative learning and all those things that became so kind of picked up steam in our, Western United States culture, North America, when those things started to kind of like come into existence in a more, I don't know, acceptable way, because they were making their way over in the 60s and 70s, with a lot of people in my parents' generation who were starting to study with gurus and teachers and esoterics, and like kind of a lot of people would call it like a new age hippie spiritual movement. Obviously, it was much deeper than that. If you go to the roots of some of the Tibetan and Indian and South Asian cultural traditions that made its way over here, this stuff is so much deeper than a lot of what it gets kind of cliched as in the media. But it's great we're having this conversation here on Losar, Tibetan New Year, because so much of the spiritual traditions and teachings about gratitude for me and my family came from my dad studying with Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, who made his way through Scotland and escaped Tibet, kind of like the Dalai Lama did during the whole just horrible exile, total tragedy. But turned into this like gift to the world for these Tibetan teachings, to come into the West and, give us the gift of Buddhism, so we could kind of start to discover, the Buddha did some great work in 2,500 years ago, 2,600 years ago. Master Jesus did amazing things with the Buddha. They were together. So there's a lot of incredible spiritual teachings, which seem so far away, but they're right here, right now. I mean, we can tap into the wisdom of Buddha and Jesus and Muhammad and these great teachers in the Tibetan tradition. There's, people like the Dalai Lama and the Karmapa and, the people who we've heard about. But then there's also like teachers like Machik Laptran, who's a incredible female Buddha from the 11th or 12th century. And so if you kind of fast forward in my life to my teenage years, I got to study with Lama Tsotrang Malione, who wasn't even a Lama then. I think she's the first quote unquote Western woman, of European descent who got to become a Tibetan nun. And she also studied with Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche and a whole other host of incredible Tibetan Buddhist teachers. And so like she brought the conversation for the divine feminine and honoring Tara into the culture. And Her Holiness Sai Ma, my dear Ma, she's brought a lot of the divine feminine through the Vedic traditions and the 2,700 years of the Hindu traditions, and she's the first Jaga guru as a woman. So like the divine feminine teachings are kind of coming back. I mean, they used to be like really strong back in the day, but they're making an entry onto earth through these incredible teachers, and we're embodying them and then becoming our own teachers and passing it on. So I'm sharing all this with you because like all this study and initiation and spiritual traditions and studying with different teachers in different lineages is like, I've been studying this almost my whole life. And for me, my one thing that I've noticed all these traditions have, even my Methodist roots with my father's family and my uncle and my grandfather who are Methodist ministers and Masons, this whole thing around gratitude and community and trying to figure out what's good in us. My fellow host of the Discover Gratitude community on Mighty Networks, her name's Anu, and she's always talking about discovering the good in us. And when we discover the good in us, how can that help our day-to-day lives? And I feel like trying to find and discover what's good, what's grateful, what's working, how are you already being healthy? How are you already being happy? Like really trying to focus on what works, and trying to figure out what we have in common. And that can sometimes be a struggle because there's so many messages that come through, mostly our TV and our phones and our radio, that want to show us evidence for how different we are. And I really appreciate like learning difference as a bridge to unity, and like understanding uniqueness and the gifts and the talents and the strength that people who are different or seemingly different bring to the table. I think that's a very important thing. You know, having grown up in a community in a high school where over 50 languages were spoken and 70 countries were represented, you know, diversity, and now it's called diversity and inclusion. And there's a whole set of conversations that have come in that were just like part of the Cambridge culture in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I didn't quite realize the impact that being in a diverse school environment would have on my, I don't want to say we're all the same. I think we're all kin under the skin. I love that. One of my professors at Antioch said that. But it's also like, let's also talk about, you know, our skin and all of the conversations in our culture about color and culture and race and class and, you know, sexual orientation and identity, all these words that we're doing our best to like describe our differences, and, you know, the strength that can come from appreciating and acknowledging and being grateful for differences, and also looking at how does that provide a bridge into a conversation for unity. These are a lot of like the kind of deeper thoughts and feelings that are behind my offering and behind our Discover Gratitude community. Like, what's at the fabric? What's at the DNA, the cultural, you know, what's the culture? Where does this come from? You know, why did over 1,200 people become part of our Facebook group, and almost 200 people part of our Mighty Network? And why are people coming together around this idea? I'm still not sure. I don't pretend to know the right answer, but it seems like, at least for me, those are all the kind of points of connection and attraction that I'm bringing together as I'm kind of, you know, doing my best to take care of my baby. Discovergratitude.org is going to be 5 years old in August. So I have some, you know, besides these like musings and kind of wandering, not sure where I'm going, kind of, you know, things I'm just sharing with you about my ideas and why I do what I do. I wanted to let you know that, you know, today is Tibetan New Year, Losar. It's a very powerful day in the lunar cycle. We could do a whole 3-4 hours on that. And then March 17th, 18th, that 24-hour period is going to be the 3-year anniversary of our gratitude Zoom. My mentor, Marcus Bellringer Bell, who's just such a phenomenal musician and teacher, he said to me when the pandemic was coming, he looked at me on a mastermind group. He said, Noah, I think the world needs to be reminded to be thankful and grateful every day. How are you going to do that? And that's when we started gratitudezoom.com. Every day, 9 a.m. Eastern, for at least 15 minutes, we're together practicing building this muscle of thankfulness. It's like our little spiritual workout every morning. So you're always welcome to that. That's a gift. That's a gift that we as a community bring to the world. And we've been doing it for 3 years, pretty much either every day or every week. And the way you sign up to be part of that community is you text the words gratitude. So just text the word gratitude to 617-485-0744. So just type in your phone right now. You just open up a text message and type the word gratitude, and then send it to area code 617-485-0744. And, you know, if you're on the Faceplace, you can always type in the search bar, Discover Gratitude Community. That's a public group. And that's actually how a lot of people find out about the daily gatherings. They find out about the year-long Discover Gratitude journey. They find out about the monthly workshops, the daily gatherings, the incredible workshops we're starting to do at senior living communities. Oh my gosh. If you know communities that would love to have conversations about gratitude, please just text me at the 617 485-0744 and just tell me, who I should be talking to, because we're finally able to go back in person and help the seniors, help our wise elders, experience the joy of childlike wisdom. Oh, so amazing. I mean, yesterday I was there. There was 40 people that showed up at the Benchmark Senior Living community in Newton. And we had a conversation about what to be grateful for, but also what not to be grateful for. We got to have balance in our gratitude, and it helps us be more honest and authentic. And it also gives a chance for gratitude. Like, as my godmother says, gratitude comes from within. So it's not like you can't make anybody be grateful. You can only have conversations and meditations, and which we're going to do in a second, meditation. And this woman stands up and she says, I'm not grateful that I'm going blind, but I am grateful that I had the intelligence to find this senior living community so I could be safe and supported while I'm going blind. Whew. Wow, that's profound. And it's a perfect example of what to be grateful for and what not, and how they relate to each other. So you can kind of reflect on that for your own life and think about those questions. The Grateful Heart meditation that I discovered when I was doing my literature review for my thesis on building gratitude communities at Antioch University a couple of years ago. You just take your hand, put it on your heart, and this is from the Heart Math Institute research, and you hold your hand on your heart, and you just think gratitude, kindness, joy, love, self-acceptance, whatever you want to contemplate. This is a form of contemplation meditation. Whatever you want to contemplate, you just hold your hand on your heart. Breathe in gratitude, breathe out gratitude. Make it fun. I mean, meditation doesn't have to be like all serious. It's just breathe in gratitude. Let your heart know that you love your heart. I think gratitude is kind of like I feel like the heart is the home of gratitude in our bodies. I mean, think about the parts of your body that you're grateful for and appreciate them. For me, whenever I hold my heart and do this meditation, I have an experience of feeling really grateful for my body real fast. And it's kind of interesting. We're having this conversation on Heart Health Month. Oh my God, there's so many things that are talked about with heart health that, you feel like, oh my God, I got to practice this for 21 days or go to this doctor or study this program. That's all good. The thing that helps me stay on track with my nutrition and my fitness is holding my heart. It's like, okay, come. You can close your eyes right now and just come into the moment. Breathe in that love for yourself and that opportunity to accept yourself. This holding your heart is what keeps you going in the midst of all these ups and downs, at least for me. And also a little tip that we talked about in the How to Be Your Own Best Valentine episode is look in the mirror. Like, take a moment. If you're on Zoom, you can, or you go to the bathroom or have a makeup mirror, just look right in your eyes. Look in your eyes and just let yourself be with yourself, whatever that means to you. Just let the beauty of you in. Just let it in. And then, just give yourself a chance to be grateful for you. And just be with you. Being with you. Thank you so much for being here and taking your precious energy and time to be together virtually. I really hope that some of my musings, my best friend Peaches calls me her muse, just, this is like me unplugged. This is not like standing up and doing a public speaking engagement where things are polished and organized and, talking points and inquiry questions that lead to other insights. I'm just here being with you, comfortable, like on our sofa together, just having a conversation about, like, at least how like all I can share is how I've discovered gratitude for myself and the things that I've done. But like my godmother Wendy says, gratitude comes from within. Like, you'll discover, give yourself the space and time, you can have your own discovery of gratitude for you. And that just opens up a whole new world of being alive. I can't explain it, but you'll know it when it happens. You'll be like, oh, I'm home. I'm here in a whole new way. It's magical. So come play with us. Just text the word gratitude to 617-894. Oh, no, that's my phone number. My 617-485-0744. And if you want to call me and leave me a message, I love hearing people's voice and what they're grateful for. I think you can leave a message on the 617-485-0744. That's like the phone number for the Discover Gratitude community as a group. You can always visit us at discovergratitude.org and, sign up for little updates about our podcasts and community, our gratitude gatherings. And, we're creating a show and a podcast and all sorts of fun stuff. And then just text if you want the daily reminders and like the daily gratitude questions that I was talking about that Marcus encouraged me to create in our Wealth and Impact Mastermind. It's 617-485-0744, and just text the word gratitude. And then what's going to come back to you is like an opportunity, an invitation to register into our Mighty Network private. Some parts of the community are paid, some are a gift from me to you. And that's, no advertising. It's different than Facebook. I find it a little bit easier to concentrate when there's not all the Facebook ads and algorithms. And if you love the Face Place, just come join us at the Discover Gratitude community on Facebook. Come play, come have fun, come make gratitude fun again. I don't know if it was ever not fun, but come make it fun today in this moment. And remember to hold your grateful heart and be with yourself in the mirror. And just be grateful for you in this moment, in this precious present moment, which is all we have. Breathe in. I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for you having the opportunity to be grateful for you. All right, lots of love. This is I love you in American Sign Language. Love you, love you, love you. Love yourself. Love yourself. In this month of love, love yourself. Love your grateful heart. Okay, many blessings, much joy, and if you need any support from our gratitude group, just text that word gratitude to 617-485-0744. Okay, bye. Love you. Or as we say in the gratitude group,